The semifinals continue just outside the Big Apple here on Long Island. This is a de facto Western Conference championship, and it's the Carolina Chaos against the reigning champs, the Utah Archers, and there they are. The champs are here. 2 seed in the playoffs. Winner of this one gets the Whipsnakes in the championship. Cannot wait to watch this one with you. Alongside Ryan Boyle, Paul Carcaterra, I'm Drew Carter up here in the booth. Jake Marsh will join us down on the sideline in just a moment as well. Nick Rowlett is back at the stripe for the Chaos. He takes on Mike Sisselberger, and we are underway. 3 teams remain in the PLL. These 2 and the Whipsnakes, who will wait in the championship in Philadelphia next Sunday. The Chaos have eliminated the Archers 3 times in the last 4 seasons, in 20, 21, and 22. Archers didn't have to go through them in 23 last year, and they won their first PLL championship. Try to become the first back-to-back champ since the Whips in 19 and 20. Oh. There's Leclerc who catches the iron. He beat Blaze, but not the goal, and it's Chaos ball. Trey Leclerc starting in place of Tom Schreiber on that first Archers midfield line.
And Trey Leclerc is a guy that Coach Bates has moved all over the field in his tenure, right? We've seen him at attack. We've seen him at midfield. We've seen him at short stick D-Mitty. This guy has been everywhere.
We talked ad nauseum about that Chaos win, 8-4 over the Cannons last week. It was all about the defense and all about Blaze. But they did get significant contributions offensively, mostly from Josh Byrne, 22, who's their top scorer this season. At Exis is Shane Knobloch. They took him 4th overall out of Rutgers. His first shot saved by Brett Dobson. Number 45 on ESPN's 45th birthday. Maybe he'll have a big day today.
You know, last week, Carolina played one of the most conservative offensive games I've ever seen. They were punting on possessions fairly early. Not so much early, but like enough juice was on the clock. Like there's to be 9-10 seconds left. And they'd substitute behind the play.
It was a masterclass by Andy Towers and Jamie Hanford with that defense. Minimal sliding. They slide here. It leaves more open, but he gets blown up on the crease. Dyson Williams with the scoop and score. The rookie's got his first playoff goal.
They're going to need these type of goals today. Scoring in 6-on-6, Boyle, is not going to be easy against Chaos.
And they support the Leclerc matchup here, so as he rolls, you can see Bowen. I think Bowen did that because he thought he'd be able to surprise Leclerc and come up with a turnover. That forces kind of this scramble play. As Moore isn't able to catch it, you over-rotate, you overreact, and Williams is just Johnny on the spot there. Credit him with the scoop and behind-the-back finish.
You know why that was such a great finish, too? Because he's a left-hander. If he just scooped and shot, he had no angle on Blaze. So that extends his angle. Really heads-up play.
Dyson Williams scored a ton at Duke. 212 goals, 60-plus each of his last 2 years. So the Archers with a 1-0 lead. When these teams matched up in the regular season, it was Chaos 15, Archers 14.
I don't think we're going to see that kind of a score today, but maybe I'm wrong. I think Boyle said it earlier. They want the rock fight. That was a rip by Ament
down the alley with so much steam, it didn't even stay in the net. 2-0 Utah.
Look at the location of this rip.
Incredible accuracy by Ament. You know, all season long, it's like, well, we don't want to slide to him, Cark. Because if we slide to him, he's a great feeder. Well, okay, well, if you don't slide to him, time and time again this season, he's made him pay.
Over 90% of his goals have been unassisted.
It's incredible.
I mean, he's creating his own offense. He's demanding slides, and slides aren't coming to him. I think a lot of people are still on the program that Grant Ament's a passer first.
It's like, how much more do I need to prove that if you don't slide to me, I'm going to bury this?
You know what I love about his game, too? Like, he's been an attackman his whole life. He lived behind the cage at Penn State. He's a guy who had 90 assists in a season. He's learned how to play up top and shoot on the run like a midfielder.
Chaos turn it over on
and that's not easy.
First real possession. Yeah, Clark, to your point, Grant Ament won Attackman of the Year in this league 3 years ago.
As an ex-passer. Like, I'm going to ask Boyle, who played the same position. Would it have been easier for you to be a sweeping midfielder? Think about you as a sweeping midfielder.
No chance. No chance.
He's up for midfielder of the year this year. He's a top-scoring midi in the league.
And that's where you got to tip your cap to him and his work ethic. You know, putting in the time, because you don't get that range overnight.
No, and ego. That is not an easy thing to do, because when you're an ex-attackman, you're the quarterback, you're the leader, right? Like the offense runs through you.
Byrne with the shot. Archer's almost won that run out, but it stays here with the Chaos. 52 currently on the shot clock. There's Kyle Jackson, one in white and red. Gets it to Ross Scott, another rookie. Two-pointer from Ty Kurtz. Dobson has the answer. Scott with the offensive rebound. Carolina looking to make it back to the championship where they have been a common face. They won it all in 2021. Runners up a couple other times. Henningberg takes the shot, Dobson the save, and he ends up with it.
Dobson's been sharp early. He's just so steady in net.
This is Matt Moore, his first action in over a month. An illegal screen set by Utah.
They called that on Bo Pedersen, who got run over in the process.
Pedersen, another one of those defensive middies. The young crop. They drafted Connor Marr and Piper Bond last year. They helped lead them to the championship. Added Pedersen this year, and he's been fantastic as well. Chaos shooting 0 for 4. Dobson's got 4 saves. And a violation against Carolina.
They were offsides there.
You could hear Coach Towers.
Yeah, something in the substitution game caused them to be offsides.
Ryan Ambler does well to keep it on this side of the midfield line. Ambler's their new captain. Tom Schreiber passed that off to him when Schreiber went out for the year. Moore's pass back to Ambler is off the mark. Carolina ball.
You know what's interesting? Jack Rowlett didn't play last week because of suspension, and I thought the defense played really well. Rowlett is an insane cover guy. They have him playing actually long stick midfield today to keep the continuity of that group, and it also allows Rowlett then to chase in space. Wow. I kind of like the move because Troy Ray was incredible off ball against Marcus Holman last week. He had 0 and 0. He's on Mac O'Keefe playing off ball, similar matchup.
Byrne after the toe drag. Ends up in the crease.
It's a really good point, Kark. You know, Ray's performance, really, outside of Reardon, right, his performance last week on Holman.
It's awesome.
It's one of those things, once you start talking about their performance defensively last year, you just then, like, check the next guy, check the, I mean, they held the 4 goals, right?
Yeah.
It's like.
By the way, Troy Ray had 9 ground balls last week. That's
Troy
like
Ray, I
numbers.
think, is the Rodney Dangerfield of the league. He doesn't get the respect he deserves.
I understand that reference. Here's Jules. Chaos still stuck on 0 more than halfway through the first quarter.
And that's tough because usually their recipe is you get out to the early lead, right?
Knobloch goes to the twister. Deflected, never made it to goal, 5 to shoot.
Yeah, they're going to punt on this, so, like, I don't feel bad about talking over this action. Like, their recipe has always been jump out to the early lead. That gets their opponent kind of pressing, and that's where Reardon then becomes even more effective because you're like, wait, not only do we have to score on this guy, but we got to come back from a deficit? Like, you can really start to press, whereas shooting on Blaze with a lead is a little bit different from a mental standpoint.
Archers have taken 3 shots. They've scored on 2 of them. They do have 4 turnovers in this first quarter.
Another moving pick. Yeah.
Back to back.
Refs are not hesitating to blow the whistle on that play. Zach Geddes, one of the fastest players in the league, runs it across midfield.
And if they call that action tight, that does not benefit Archers at all because Chaos last week against Boston played the pick game so beautifully. Somebody lost a glove.
Here's Ross Scott. Archer's in transition. It's a 2 from the rookie Mason Woodward, who scored a goal in 4 of their last 5 regular season games. So 77 in the fast break game is a real threat.
Yeah, he kind of reminds you of Cade Van Raphorst, right? Like when he crosses the line, you better get on him.
There's more, catches iron. By the way, it reminds you of Van Raphorst because of the number, but also the
Well, he's got the lefty too. It's a heavy, heavy shot.
Ooh.
There's
Those are pretty good feet.
Quick as a hiccup. He throws Leclerc open on the arc. It'll stay here with the Archers.
See, now you have Rowlett defending Amen. There's history in that matchup too, and Amen's playing midfield. Rowlett can chase and be a little bit more aggressive on the perimeter, and you keep your defense from last week intact.
Here's our first real look at Connor Fields. A top 10 scorer in the PLL this year. Good ball movement, but better defense from Rowlett, who just picked that off.
Beautiful rotation and an interception. Can Chaos get a little transition going?
How do they generate offense in the 6-on-6?
I think you need to get just a ton of touches to burn. The issue is he's got Hasek on him, so you want to change that matchup.
They're 0 for 8 shooting.
This feels like a game where, like, Knobloch.
I think Kyle Jackson could go 2-man also with Byrne to give Byrne the short stick, because Jackson will get a short stick.
McKay's drifting away. Why not set a pick there? As,
whoa! Hasek just dislodged it from Byrne, then a big collision. A couple of Chaos players end up on the deck, and then Dobson starts the clear.
That was Colby Bars.
Good shout, Colby Bars, 24 in orange, a late add to this roster.
And no Cam Wires, right?
Yep, Cam Wires out, hurt his ankle in practice, so Bars, the rookie out of Towson, gets the call. His 3rd game as a pro. Leclerc with the skip. Ament running out of the box. As the short stick matchup against Zach Geddes. There he is on the invert. Under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. 2-zip Archers. Ament the feed to the arc. O'Keefe with a foot inside the line makes it 3-0 for the reigning champs.
O'Keefe being blanketed by Troy Ray, who erased Holman last week. He comes to the party and he gets the pass from his old mate through his college days at Penn State. Amen to O'Keefe. Rings a bell, doesn't it?
Last year, the Archers avoid the chaos in the playoffs and end up winning the championship, and you see this is a Carolina team that frequently struggles in the regular season, gets into the dance, and then proves to be a problem for everybody. And this year they're 4-6 in the regular season. Here they are in the semis.
Yeah, if you thought you were kind of the days of betting against Blaze Reardon and the chaos and the playoffs were behind you, like last week was a friendly reminder of not so much.
Yes.
When they get into the playoffs, it's them against the world, right? That's their mantra.
Like, you can't believe you're picking them to win, and then if you pick against them, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. What was I thinking?
There's those grounders. You mentioned the 9 last week by Troy Ray. that's a beautiful grounder by 10 in white.
As a team, they won that ground ball battle 33 to 23. Out GB'd the Cannons by 10. Really dominated in every facet of that game, especially the hustle stats. Henningberg down the alley, missed it with the left hand.
You know, Ryan, I think part of the reason why everyone's afraid to bet against the chaos is Blaze, right? He's played in 10 playoff games. He's never been under 50% in a playoff game. Like, he's the ultimate X factor.
He's above 60% in his playoff career.
That's insane.
Just think about that. I mean, that would lead the league for an entire regular season, which, by the way, is about what he did this year. It led the league in save percentage.
10 games is a regular season, so his playoff career is essentially a regular season, and he's over 60%.
Yeah, I mean, he gives them a puncher's chance in every single one of these games and steps up. The issue is their offense. And again, historically, they've always kind of jumped out to that lead and then leaned on it. Now it looks like they're going to go through the first quarter with a goose egg.
And they're having problems with Grant Ament, who's got a goal and an assist. And he's got another one. What a feed and what a finish.
Wow.
It's the Grant Ament show in this first quarter. He likes playing on Long Island.
This is filthy. I mean, this is high-level IQ matched with...
Oh, he's letting him hear it,
yeah. He's going to carry up. He sees the double team come. He punches away, rolls back, and then throws a backhanded touch pass that is just spot on. Just right on Dyson Williams' stick. With, I mean,
that's
beautiful.
Money.
I mean, that's a
Money.
gorgeous feed.
Wow. He's going against Jack Posey, who's from Penn State. He's a rookie. Right, so he's got that Penn State connection.
I'm going to go after you. Yeah.
This is my time, bro.
Yeah.
My time.
Yeah.
And Jack Posey, I thought he was actually playing a pretty good defense there. I thought it was a premature slide by Chaos, but he's just so smooth because when you roll, you're taught to slide to the back of the helmet. They did that, but how do you counter that ridiculous pass?
One last chance for the Chaos to score in the first quarter. McKay loaded it up for two. Now he shoots. Dobson's got it. That's easy for him. And what a start for Utah. Yep, Grant Ament. You can talk that talk. A goal and 2 assists. Dyson Williams with a couple of goals in his first playoff game in the first quarter. The champs are here. 4-0 after 12 minutes. Trying to go back to the title game. Four 4-0 Archers over the Chaos. Grant Ament had a hand in 3 of those goals.
Yeah, he owned the quarter, but he's going to be a marked man the rest of this matchup. And for me, it's also the inefficiency of Chaos delivering on shots. They were 0 for 10 in the first quarter. That's plagued them down the stretch. They were the lowest scoring offensive team in the regular season, and it's all about shooting efficiency for them, and not a good look, Jake.
All right, guys, so the message from Coach Towers in the Chaos huddle, take a deep breath. If you recall in Baltimore, early August, it was actually Chaos who started the game on a 4-0 run. Coach Towers is confident that those runs will come from his offense. We shall see.
You know, talking to Andy Towers, he wants his team to get 66% of his shots on goal, right? And he feels like if they can get the 66% shots on goal, that's the space they need to live in. Like when he's breaking down everything, they're not getting 66% of their shots on goal tonight.
And on the other side, Blaze Reardon was 79% last week. 0% in the first quarter, didn't make a save. Fields, oh, he tried to do it again. Stop the madness. There's more, and there's Reardon's first stop.
It just feels like kind of week to week, and it's so hard not to think back to Chaos last week, just given their dominant performance over Boston. But it just feels like Archers, the looks they're getting in that first quarter alone, they had more quality looks than Boston was able to generate on a consistent basis.
I would agree, like flow in their offense.
Yeah.
And, you know, credit Chris Bates too, by putting Matt Moore in this offensive set again. And you would think, oh, that's easy because he's healthy. Van Overbeek was amazing in Utah the last time they played.
And Ament, when he bumped down to attack here last year, he went off and had 8 points.
And where is he tonight? Back to midfield. Like, he knows his team, he knows his personnel.
Hosek for 2. Bouncers will go. It's Hosek's first points of the season, and it's a bomb in the playoffs.
Chaos have got to answer here before this thing gets beyond their reach of a potential comeback. You know, Hosek, full head of steam. He doesn't have one this year, but He's never been afraid to pull the trigger in transition. That's a deep.
Yes.
He's well.
Numbers, you got numbers, you got numbers.
I mean, you talk about excitement right
Yeah.
there. I'll tell you, that shot had a couple things. One, it had heat.
Yep.
The other thing, it had a change of levels, and he used the turf. Like, you're not going to beat Blaze. If Hofstra pulled up and shot high to high there, 2 for a buck for Blaze. Like, he's changing the trajectory of his release point, right? From high to low, and then counters with a bounce shot. That is really hard for a goaltender to track.
And risk-reward proposition, a 2-pointer early in the clock. If you miss, whatever, you substitute behind the play as Leclerc continues this run.
Yeah, they are pouring it on now. Trey Leclerc makes it 7-zip Utah.
Like, as much as we love Tom, we're going to play for Tom, and we're going to rally behind Tom, but let's also prove we can win without Tom, and not in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
And speaking of Tom, he's downstairs with Jake.
Well, Tom, no disrespect, you're a great player, but this offense is not missing a beat right now. Even Graham Hofstra getting in on the scoring. What are you seeing from your guys so far?
We're just seeing a commitment to doing the little things. Hustling all over the field, running out end lines, hustling on ground balls, guys like Graham coming up the field, putting the ball in the back of the net, and just playing at a different pace and taking it to him the best we can. But we got to keep this rolling. There's plenty of time left in this game.
Rest versus rust is a debate with the bye for you guys, but right now you guys are coming out of the gate rolling. What was the message in the locker room to make sure you had to start like this?
I don't think it was much of a message. I think it's understood. I think we have a really good, mature group that understands when you have a week off, it's an opportunity to get a little better, a little more dialed in. And I know we had a great practice last week up at Gillette, and we've come ready to go, and we've started fast, so it's been good so far.
All right, best of luck with the injury recovery and the rest of your guys in this game.
Thanks so much.
It's Tom Schreiber, who passed his captaincy to this guy, Ryan Ambler, his fellow Princeton Tiger and his fellow Day 1 Archer. And so far, Utah's put on a clinic. Carolina's still stuck on 0. Geddes with the setup for Kurtz.
Boyle, you mentioned maybe getting Knobloch involved. When they win, he's 8 for 19 this season, shoots 42%. When they lose, he's 2 for 15, and he shoots 13%. So when the Chaos win, they get a dodging presence from up top with Knobloch, who has the ball right now.
Here he is, top 5 pick in the draft this year. Now it's Byrne. Can he make something happen against Hofstra, who has dominated this matchup? He's actually outscored Josh Byrne in this first half. Now it's Knobloch with the short stick matchup, missed it high. 12 to shoot for Carolina. Chaos now 0 for 12 shooting. Meanwhile,
and they're already
Archers
substituting. Right?
50%.
They're already substituting off the field when there was like 11, 12 seconds left. I just don't think that playbook is applicable.
That playbook works when you're up 2-1.
You used that last week against Boston, given their prowess in transition. I mean, you're down 7. I just don't think you can afford to punt on these possessions with that much juice left on the clock.
Jackson tried to do it himself.
I mean, I wonder, do you try to speed this game up almost?
See if you can get Newman over.
I mean, this 6-on-6, it ain't working.
Are they built to do that, though? I mean, that's the question.
Well, they're not built to overcome a 7-0 deficit with their 6-on-6 when they come in last in seemingly most to every statistical offensive category. You only average 10 goals a game. You're last in 2-pointers. You won a playoff game last week scoring 8 goals.
Yeah, and they've scored less than 10 4 times this season. That's the most in the PLL.
Here's Jack Van Overbeck. First time we've said his name, the rookie who was sensational in the last week of the regular season. Reardon kicked it aside. Here comes Newman across midfield. A 2-pointer would go a long way right now. Patrick Resch.
I mean, I might be jumping the gun a little bit to some halftime adjustments, but like, what's plan B?
Plan B, I think, is taking chances in transition, asking guys like Geddes
to get the offense rolling. Like flash him out and push and take a chance.
See if Ross Scott can be the straw that stirs the drink. Byrne has a short stick matchup. You know he's going to attack that. He got a yard sale.
Yeah, we can talk Archer's offense all day and how they've been clicking and converting. Their defense is locked in. The timing of those slides are perfect.
That was a beautifully timed slide there by Woodward. But yeah, their defense through the regular season was third in the league in terms of 12 scores allowed.
2 new starters on this defense. Like, this is a championship team last year. Their close defense outside of Hofstra did not look like that personnel-wise. Took them some time to get used to each other. They're locked in.
Heads up.
Here comes Woodward.
Beautifully designed set piece there. They did a little fake flip with Ambler right near the box. He stepped out. They stepped somebody in the defensive end, and then Woodward sneaked over the line. Nice wrinkle by Bates, even though they weren't able to cash in.
This is O'Keefe. Fields, rather. Fields, oh my gosh, with the beautiful pass to Amen in tight, and Reardon's going to win the run out. It is Carolina ball. The Archers are doing all this without much contribution from Connor Fields, who's 0-0 with just 1 shot and 7 touches. Flash in their depth. Here's Jackson. Still has it, draws a flag. Kyle Jackson maintains possession, somehow loads it up and shoots. Maybe just out of frustration. We're going to have some extra here. Yeah, Jackson was getting mauled.
Yeah, walk away from this one. You don't want to be suspended walking into championship weekend. Yep, you're right, Matt.
Matty Palin. He says knock it off.
Dobson's dialed too, 8 saves. Blaze right now under his 50% playoff stardom, right? He's never been under 50% in his career.
Number 54, 30-second technical, Hope.
He only has 3 saves, so they're solving the biggest riddle of playoff history in the PLL, named Blaze Reardon. This offense is dialed, playing with purpose and dominating. Call that through X, through the crease, maybe? No, that's a great little piece, too, and it makes all the sense in the world. As a non-goalie, you don't think about those things, but it is all about technique. But regardless, Brett Dobson has established himself as one of the great goalies in the world right now. I mean, he's right up there. I mean, Blaze Reardon has been the standard, but right after that, Dobson is phenomenal.
Dobson's a guy who's going to be in the mix for goalie of the year for a long time.
For a long time. He's going to be Team Canada's goalie for many, many years, where that torch has been handed from Dylan Ward. But also now he has a championship experience.
Where's Andy? 18.
They're looking at the fight right now, I think, prior to the break.
This will be good. This will be good.
After review, I have no choice but to take KJ for a minute. He basically threw 2 uppercuts in there that are on there, and the Archers did nothing with the hands. I mean, I know he's frustrated, whatever, but I cannot not call it. Well, that I don't have.
Those 3 guys were going on for man up, just so you know. Perk, Jules, and Knobber. Because the flag was down.
I mean, really, the only thing that happened in that scrum was KJ, and it was on camera with 2 uppercuts. And you know. Okay. All right. So it's going to be even in 30 seconds. You're going to have the ball, and it's going to be even for 30 seconds.
Here and breaking down the timing of this.
So you're going to be even for 30 seconds, and then they're going to be up for 30. All right?
Yeah, there's the 2.
There's the 2, yeah.
Oh, there may be 3.
In addition to the Archers foul, after the dead ball, I got number 1 for the Chaos. 1 minute, unsportsmanlike conduct, full-time serve.
here's the problem. Since it's a retaliation now, it's going to be Archer's ball.
Yes.
So they're about to go man up.
Yeah.
He's about to get his power play on the field. And
Have the ball at midfield, be 5-on-5 for 30 seconds, and then the Archers will be up for 30 seconds.
disaster mode, right? Because you have a power play right on the brink, right? And then KJ, who is in a position, right, to walk away, and now you're penalizing your team and you're going down. It's Kyle Jackson.
And I'm sure Bates was like, wait, what happened? Like I don't think he had any expectation.
I think when they saw
turns were
when they went to the break and they saw the video, and Matt Palin was referring to KJ as Kyle Jackson. That's Kyle Jackson.
Right, we got that. Let's hold the ball. Let's be smart. Manage the clock here. At 30, be ready. What do you want to go into? Let's go right away to crush. To what? Yeah, we'll go crush to burst. You got it? So right away, be sharp here. You guys bang the ball quickly. Yeah, bang it. You need it. Right, so possess it for 30. Right, we got it, and make sure nothing's going the other direction at the end of the penalty. Let's go, boys. Right, let's go. Sink one here. Let's go.
It's 52 seconds on the shot clock, so they'll milk the 30, and then they'll be on the power play.
Yeah, and crush is some sort of action, and then into Bird, i.e. what's you should know, Larry Bird's number?
33.
Yep, so that'll be a 3-3 set. So that's their code word, 33 for their 3-3 set. So crush is some sort of action, and then they'll end up in the 3-3.
Thanks, RB.
But going back to this also, Chaos is about to go on the power play. But the retaliation, even though they're even for the first 30, the retaliation gives Utah Archers the ball. And Kyle Jackson's penalties for a minute, as opposed to Chaos's for only 30. So the disaster mode. When it rains, it pours.
And it's full-time serve, too, so if they score, he's still in there. So as if it could have gotten any worse for the Chaos. They have to defend 5-on-5 for 30, and as we just heard Chris Bates say, they're going to wait for their penalty to be released on Bo Pettersson.
Yeah, and you saw Andy Towers' reaction. It was just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like what else could go wrong?
Can I buy a bucket, please? Like, I need something here.
This is an Archers team that has proven the last couple of years they get better at this time of the season. You saw what they did last year in the semis in this building. Grand Amet with the 8 points. Playing attack, they dominated the Redwoods to go to the championship and win their first one. They're doing the same thing to the Chaos here. They're on the power play. Moore from X, feeds in front. Ryan Ambler with the alley-oop.
Yeah, it's clicking, and they are passing the rock. It's efficient and beautiful, Boyle.
Yeah, beautiful little action here. They're going to swing this ball through X, and as that occurs, freeze it right here. You're going to see Ambler. He's right in the middle of your field, right here, and actually down the crease. And these 4 players around the perimeter right here, one of these guys, you can see kind of them collapse around him, but he's just able to find that soft spot.
You know, we talked
here by Moore.
Yeah, Moore with a little look away too. You see Moore's head is in one direction and the pass is in another, so I think that allows Ambler to get his hands free a little bit.
There's a big Mike Sisselberger fan here. And he wins the faceoff. Still on the power play with Jackson in the sin bin. Just for a couple more seconds. Ament's got it. Penalties released. We're back to 6-on-6. Here's Fields. Top 5 in the league in goals this year. Yanked that shot a little wide, 4 to shoot. Will roll it out, and they'll take the shot clock violation.
You know, the issue, Boyle, is when you look at this Chaos team and where's the comeback? You know, the 2-pointers, they're last in the league. They have 5 the entire season. So to cut a deficit when you have the 2-point threats like Boston had, for example, or was first in the league, like they could score multiple 2-pointers in a game.
Yeah, I mean, the only flip side of that is one area where Dobson has struggled at times. You know, he's 7th in terms of save percentage, and he's given up 10 2-pointers this season.
I always think when a goalie has a nice lead like this, 8-0, a lot of times you see their best ball too because they're so relaxed.
There's O'Keefe. Reardon makes the save. Stopping a low to high Mac O'Keefe shot is.
This is where you got to go.
Yeah,
you got to go.
Easy to do.
You
Here's
got to go.
Geddes. They find Newman. One more pass up top for Ray. And they just did not get that transition opportunity. Credit the Archers' transition defense. Scott turns and shoots.
But I think they're going to have to lean on that more in the second half. I mean,
I was talking about it earlier too, right?
Like
flush Geddes out.
Geddes, Newman, Ray. Like I think you kind of want to make this as much of a scramble, kind of pickup game, kind of like men's league game. Just kind of like get bodies in uncomfortable spots. Because if you play a traditional 6-on-6. Like line them up, like you're down 8-0. If I'm Chaos, I want to make the second half weird.
Yeah. The good news is they're not getting dominated by Sisselberger at the stripe. You know, the advantage for Utah is 5-4, so they have some hope of getting possessions.
See if the Archers can add one more, and they do. In spectacular fashion. Welcome back, Matt Moore. Looks like the shoulder's okay.
Well, he's got the last, yeah. He's got the last 2 points. He's involved in that assist to Ambler, which was a beautiful pass. It was a look away. And then Van Overbeek was fantastic in Utah. You think, oh, just keep him in the lineup because they're rolling. No, go back to the known in Matt Moore down the stretch. He's healthy. He's had a lot of time to recover. This is a beautiful shot where he's losing his angle and just stretches out with that backhand shovel.
Activated this week. That right shoulder issue kept him out for over a month. Last time we saw him was August 4th against the Chaos when the Archers lost 15-14. Looks like this one's going to be a different result. Welcome back to the PLL Cash App Playoffs on ESPN, and welcome back to the Empire State, where the Archers feel right at home. 9-zip as we start the third quarter. Drew Carter, Ryan Boyle, Paul Carcaterra, Jake Marsh back with you. Glad to have you with us on this semifinal day of action. The Maryland Whipsnakes are already through. Thanks to Jim Stagnita for joining us on the broadcast. Excited to see if his team can win its third PLL championship. They're already the only franchise with multiple. Won them in back-to-back years in 19 and 20. And potentially their third this year. Here's Ross Scott for the Chaos. RB, I mean, I don't know how many times I can ask you this, but what can the Chaos do just to start chipping away here?
Yeah, I think you look at the knowns. Some guys have got to step up, like a Ross Scott and a Josh Byrne, kind of most notably. And then I think you look at who are the complementary pieces around that, i.e. Jules Henningberg and Knobloch from the midfield. But like, this team, it didn't have a lot of depth of scoring, right? I mean, Drew, you think about it, in the regular season, Josh Byrne was 11th in points. He was the only Chaos in the top 25. The next guy on the list was Ross Scott. He was 30th. So it's like, where is it coming from? Like, they're just not really built for this. I mean, they only averaged 10 goals a game. Granted, in that Week 9 win, they put up 15.
Well, how about this? Carolina, the first team in PLL history to be shut out in the first half of a postseason game. That is crazy. I mean, this is historic stuff from the Utah defense. Jake, how's the weather down there?
It is starting to get wet, guys. Don't be surprised to see some guys slip in the second half. I've been told there's a Little cell coming in that will last the remainder of this game. Also caught up with Grant Ament at halftime, and he said, we are not counting our chickens before they hatch. The two-point arc changes everything. If this was the college game, it would be game over, but you're a few twos away from being right back in this thing.
Did he really say they're not counting their chickens before they're hatched? That feels like an old man.
No,
like,
no, that was me. That was ad-libbing.
Paraphrasing.
But in a sense,
I'm just checking.
That.
It seems just like an.
Thank you for keeping me on my toes.
Well, it's more like
an old man like me.
Yeah, I mean, you know. I'll put myself in that boat as well, Carl.
Yeah, I say that sometimes. O'Keefe, that was for 1. Mac O'Keefe with a goal and an assist in the first half. Just all Archers, pure domination.
And if you're Chaos, right, you're not going to make up this 9-goal margin. What can you do just to give yourself a shot in the fourth, right? So can you get this to 5?
That's kind of the number I was thinking.
That's the many wins.
But here's the
that you
problem.
look for.
Like, you can get to 4, but can you hold Archers? Like, right? Like, it's gonna be a matter of like trading some goals too with this team. You're not just gonna blank these guys. And you know, when you think of this, Amen obviously has been dominant. Fields has been quiet. Mac O'Keefe's he's been good, but not dominant. They're showing you like a depth of scoring.
Yeah, I think like while I don't think you're necessarily going to blank the Archers, they kind of did that to the Cannons last week.
They did.
They kind
but
of
they
held them.
established that off the jump.
Fair. Yeah.
That was Van Overbeck with a shot. Rookie from St. Paul, Minnesota. He was so good in those last 2 games of the regular season. The home games in Utah.
That's the look. He's got to bury that.
Yeah, great look, a lot of steam.
How far from you where you grew up, Van Overbeek?
About 20, 30 minutes. He went to Benilde St. Margaret's, which was a private school, but still one of our bigger rivals. Great hockey school, Benilde.
They're playing Van Overbeck at midfield tonight because Matt Moore is back in the lineup. And you know, when you think about this team, you have that extra roster spot because Schreiber's not coming back. So Van Overbeck gets, you know, a little bit more of a longer leash for that matter. You know, he played well in Utah, played great in Utah. Comes here, if he's a little quiet tonight, that's okay. They're not going to pull him. No one's coming back from injury on this team.
Van Overbeck really hasn't given them a choice, right? I mean, you got to keep him in the lineup.
Van Overbeck was the story of Utah.
Yes.
I mean, you walked away. Schreiber getting hurt was the biggest story. That was the silver lining of if anything good was coming about Schreiber getting injured, it was Van Overbeck established himself that weekend.
Moore sweeps, shoots for 2. Blaze
Gotta go.
locked in here in the third. A clean save has to equal transition.
Gotta go here.
Newman.
Why not?
But you gotta like the look, right?
Yeah, that's how they're gonna have to generate any sort of momentum, and that early 2 allows you to substitute behind the play. So even a miss.
They're 0 for 24 tonight. 0 for 24 shooting.
9 saves for Dobson. Here's Perkovic. Maybe he can grease the wheels. Also a threat from outside. Kurtz gets it to Henningberg. Piper Bond all over him. Just no room. Perkovic for 2. 7 seconds to shoot. They're going to start subbing.
Yes. Jackson's not done roughing it up.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, he's.
Okay.
This is going to get chippy because when a
41 Archers, 41 Archers. Fouls on the Archers, number 41. 30-second technical interference.
John Robbins. You worry about games like this, like when it's 9-0, things are getting chippy, Utah's rolling.
Grand Amet with reason to celebrate and reason to yell.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a Chaos guy.
If you're an Archers fan, you're like, look at this guy. He's celebrating other people. If you're a Chaos fan, you're like,
oh,
just
can't wait to get my hands
God,
on him.
I just want to.
We saw him get into it with Ian McKay a little bit, almost, and then Kyle Jackson's been mixing it up. Chaos are on the power play after an interference on John Robbins.
Fourth in the league.
By Jackson. Yep.
There's the two-pointer that we thought could be the Achilles heel, right, for Dobson, but not tonight.
And that power play is going to go by.
He's got time and room here.
Yeah, Woodward gives it up. Are they in clock-killing mode already?
They're not in clock-killing mode, but they're in, if you give up anything in transition, you're going to get a mouthful on the sideline mode.
See the tweets, loving Grand Amen. Cheat code.
There he is, with the quickness. LeClaire?
Nice stop by Blaze.
Reardon's dialed in the third quarter. Might just be too little too late. That's 6 stops for Blaze. Rowlett on the move. Rowlett shoots and gets hit by Hossack as Dobson makes another save. That's 10.
Archers were definitely offsides on that last defensive possession. They got away with one there.
Chance in the sub game. Sharp angle. Backed up here with Utah. What do you got, Jake?
Yeah, guys, in that last chaos huddle, Coach Towers was telling him, we're going to get one, but make sure we're outside that 2-point arc. I don't expect him to shoot any, if at all, 1-point shots the rest of the game. Meanwhile, for Utah, it wasn't Coach Kavanaugh, it wasn't Coach Resch, it wasn't Coach Bates, it was Tom Schreiber leading the offensive huddle. Pretty cool to see, still making the impact despite being sidelined.
Yeah, it's incredible to see how they've rallied around him. I mean, to win the game where he gets hurt, and then the next game where he's not playing, and then to do this without the reigning MVP, pretty impressive.
Back to Carolina.
We're approaching super historic territory here. Carolina's already the first team to not score in the first half of a playoff game. There's under 15 minutes left in this game, and they still have not scored.
Historic or infamy?
Yeah, ignominious, perhaps. How about that, Princeton?
I've got nothing.
Burr into Jackson. Off the side of the net, that's about as good as they've done tonight. Dobson starts the clear.
I feel like Utah's played cleaner, too, because there's been some games this year. I mean, they do lead the league in turnovers. I think they've been a lot cleaner tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I was going to make, too, Kark. You know, just 10 turnovers so far this game.
Field stopped by Reardon. They averaged 20 in the regular season.
That's really been their Achilles heel. And I think why they've dipped a little bit offensively. And them cleaning up their ball handling really has two effects. Obviously, more efficient offensively, but then it eliminates transition for your opposition.
Fields on Newman. Soaks the checks. Feeds O'Keefe. And a bad screen against Utah.
If I'm McKay, I'm going right to the rack here.
Will they shoot it 2? McKay outside the arc. Dobson makes another save. See,
Dobson's waiting on these two.
Yeah, right.
You see how he's playing?
Yeah.
He's playing a way higher crease than he normally does.
you probably want to walk the line between, you want to take the twos, but
they know it's
you
coming.
don't want to force it, right?
Yeah.
And they know it's coming.
So when you watch Brett Dobson, he rarely plays that high of a crease.
Did you like that shot by McKay?
He's doing what they have to do, right? To get back in this game, you need twos.
Dude, they're 0 for 30.
I mean, I love the concept of being aggressive going for twos. The specific shot, probably not, but you're in desperation mode.
Here's Van Overbeck.
It was a better look than they've gotten on some of their 6-on-6s.
Yeah. Not a high bar, but yes.
Again, this is where you got to go if you're Chaos. Look out.
Flag behind the play. I think that'll be on Moore. He hit Geddes. Burn in tight. Kurtz with a miss with just under 15 seconds left. The Chaos will go to the power play.
Back there. That more. Archer's foul number 11. 1 minute. Unnecessary roughness.
Turnovers and penalties. That's what Archer's going to be talking about between the third and the fourth. That's what's going to enable Chaos an opportunity to come back. Now remember, as we take one more look at this, after the pass, high and in the neck, yeah.
What's up with that?
That to me is more than a minute. That should be 2 minutes.
Straight to the throat.
Yeah, that's not a minute penalty.
It's
a cross check to the throat.
Every quarter starts with a face-off, so take a late shot here.
Dobson closes the door again. 13 saves for Dobson. We're going to go to the fourth quarter with a 9-0 game. Nobody scored in the third. Nobody. Carolina 0 for 30 plus shooting. I want to talk about that play and if it could result in more discipline in the fourth quarter. Welcome back to the PLL Cash App Playoffs on ESPN. You got the Mike Sisselberger cheering contingent. They are quite happy as the Archers lead 9-0. This is not good for Utah. Matt Moore, that just got upgraded, right?
Yeah, originally it was a 1, and when we saw the replay, I'm like, that is a blatant 2-minute penalty.
Yeah, you were right on top of it. This is late, directly to the neck and head area. This is a no-brainer.
Hit the drum.
After review, the previous foul on the Archers has been upgraded. There's 46 seconds left in the original penalty. We're adding a minute to it, locking in full time.
It's the right call.
Yeah, so it ends up being a 2-minute unnecessary roughness.
I don't think there was
Full-time
malicious
served.
intent there by Matt Moore. I just think it was a situation where when you're riding, when you get lazy, you lose your technique. And you're up 9-0. I don't think there was an attention to detail, and he let his technique slip away. But, I mean, your hands are away from the stick. They're separated. It's a blatant cross-check. It's to the head and neck injury is potentially there. You got to be careful with that kind of a play if you're Matt Moore. That is a dangerous, dangerous check.
And I wonder if it is looked at by the league for a potential suspension, right? I mean, Rowlett got suspended as Dobson makes another save. Rowlett got suspended for a cross-check to the head. What do you think, Kark?
I think Rowlett's was more intense. I mean, Rowlett's was probably a beat later than Moore, and he broke the stick over the guy's head. So, like, the optics of it, I think, were a little more extreme. I think they're going to keep this at 2 minutes and probably put it to bed. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I do.
It'd have to be pretty egregious to get suspended for a championship, right?
I mean, Rowlett got suspended for quarterfinal, you know.
I feel like you want to put Matt Moore in jail. Are you
no, I mean,
pushing that way?
I'm not a cop here. But no, it's just not a good look. But I'm with you. It didn't seem intentional. As you start to look ahead to that championship, the Whip Snakes are already in. It seems like the Archers are well on their way. Fields on the ride. I mean, that's the story of the game. The Chaos are going to lose their entire power play.
You know, Coach Roy Simmons Jr., who I played for at Syracuse, had an old saying: when things weren't going well for us, when it rains, it pours. And that's what's happening for the Chaos right now. Nothing's going their way. Gentlemen,
this is worse than a pour.
Yeah,
this
there is
a
potential.
monsoon.
There is potential for this team not to score a goal in this game. The potential's real.
Are you trying to reverse jinx them?
I mean, for their sake, I hope so.
Yeah.
But I mean, are you confident they're going to hit the back of the net?
Confident would be strong. I'm going to say yes. I'm confident. I'm confident they're going to find the back of the net. I mean, they're a professional lacrosse team with a lot of pride. Yes, they're going to score. They're going to score. But this is an epic scoring drought. But they're going to bury one. They're too proud of a franchise. There's too many good lacrosse players out there. Jake, what do you got on it?
Yeah, right. Bouncing off of you guys, this is the first time in pro lacrosse history that a team has entered the fourth quarter scoreless. And it's happened in the league before where a team has scored just 3 goals, but we're talking about now if we're just going to score at all. So the conversation has changed a little bit down the stretch.
So, Jake, you're saying we could see scoregami here tonight?
Ooh, I mean, if they have 0, Archers can score as many as they want. That will be a scoregami.
I'm
Great
with
call.
Boyle. They're going to find.
They're going to score.
But the reality is too, you could be proud all day. You could try as hard as you want, but if you're not hitting the cage and your shot's just off, it's off. It's not an effort thing.
0 for 34 tonight. Of course, credit the Archers defense and credit Brett Dobson. There's a yard sale. Knobloch lost his stick. Woodward was in the vicinity.
You know, on a typical day, too, 34 shots. Probably want 8 goals out of that.
That Chaos power play, they're basically daring Kurtz to shoot from the outside. You know, I like the set where Byrne is in the top center. He's been able to get Kyle Jackson. Think of those 2 skip passes last week in Gillette.
There's a flag down near midfield. Williams shot.
One white delay. Oh, offsides. I thought you were doing this. Yeah. Chaos foul number 1. 30-second technical. Offside.
Starting to come down, too.
It's raining pretty hard. When it rains, it pours.
And it feels like every team kind of has one game a season where it's just like kind of like, what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And you just like hope and pray that you don't have that one game in the playoffs.
Ooh, Fields.
You know, and just for Chaos, it's just like, our clunkers
You want
be
this
right
to be your
now?
mulligan. You want this to be your mulligan.
Well, it happened to the Cannons last week, right? It happened to the Cannons in the playoffs 2 years in a row, but of course the Chaos deserve a lot of credit for forcing that to the Cannons, and I think the same thing is true for the Archers tonight, but this is out of character, even for the lowest scoring team in the league. Scott, rookie on rookie against Woodward. Now another rookie, Shane Knobloch, down the alley. That's another save for Brett Dobson. Man.
And you got to love the effort there by Marr. After the save, Dobson again coming out to challenge that. Really cuts the angle down on the shooter, Knobloch.
You know, when you look at this season, too, for Utah, and obviously the Schreiber injury out in Salt Lake a few weeks back, that was a moment that I think could have derailed them, right? It was the first game in a doubleheader in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So they essentially played 2 games that weekend without him. The wheels could have fallen off the bus or could have brought the team together as we see another Utah goal.
First goal of the second half for anybody.
It obviously, guys, brought the team together. They found a way to win.
It galvanized them, for sure.
It galvanized them, but it also gave Tom an opportunity to show you his leadership even more. It wasn't about him. Like, he's such a big part of this team still. And then they all were challenged to win for him and without him.
And that's where you look at the infrastructure, right, of the Archers, led by head coach Chris Bates, assistant coach Tony Resch, Hall of Famer. Now, they won the title last year, a week after Connor Fields got injured.
Yep.
They'd lost Latrell Harris.
Yes.
The short stick defensive midfielder of the year. So for them to win it last year, now Schreiber's a whole different animal in terms of being down a guy and like next man up mentality. But like, I think they proved a lot to themselves last year, winning that without Fields, without Harris.
But I think Tom's also established a voice within that locker room. He's a guy that doesn't have to say a ton, but when he speaks, it means something. And you bet your bottom dollar that he had many opportunities with this team since he's been injured to basically lay out all the reasons why they can win, why they should win.
Well, you thought they'd lean on their defense, right? With him out, it's like you still have your defense. You still got Brett Dobson in cage. You still got Hossack. You still got the third best defense. Lefty. So I think their defense showing up tonight is no big surprise. Now, to not give up a goal?
I mean, I don't think
ludicrous.
I don't think we are really grasping this moment. Like, this has never happened in professional lacrosse.
We're in uncharted territory here.
Yes, this has never happened.
No one's ever scored fewer than
lacrosse.
3 in the PLL.
Not to mention in a pro lacrosse semifinal game, right? Like, the 4 best teams theoretically are still playing, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe if a team goes, 1-9 on the season, they've been awful on offense all year. They gave up. This is a team in the semifinals.
No, to your point, the 2 lowest scoring games in the playoffs that I've called, Chrome scored 3, Cannons last week 4. Those were both in quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Those were both in quarters.
You go back to 2001, look at all outdoor lacrosse. 3 is the fewest goals in a game. We're at 0 right now. And as much as, the game feels like a dud, this is a historic performance from Utah. That's just knocked out. Wow. Henningberg almost busted up the shutout.
Well, the Archers are definitely getting ice cream tonight.
Who pays for that, Coach Resch?
Yeah.
Unlimited scoops? Like, so you get whatever you want, or there are limitations?
I'm not sure exactly the jurisdiction on the orders. I would imagine that.
Like, if you roll in, like, this guy's getting the 1 scoop, I asked for a banana split. Like,
I think it's all fair game.
There's a flag down. Now, if you pitch a shutout, do you get like a new car or something?
I'm trying to lead into this. Is like, I think everybody gets banana splits.
Yeah. All right, 2 flags.
What's that? 54 for
Carolina, at least 1 full-time for us.
54 for Carolina.
55.
55
Yep.
and 22.
Yeah.
So they're both going for a minute. 2 fouls on the play, both on Chaos. Number 22, 1 minute slash. Number 55, 1 minute unnecessary roughness. Media timeout.
You could have seen that coming, maybe. That takes us to a break. Archers up 2 men. We'll see if they can pad their cushion next. 10-0 Utah in historic territory here with just over 4 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. And let's go on to the helmet powered by Cash App with Mike Sisselberger.
Mike, it's Kark up in the booth. From your vantage point, how would you describe this defensive performance by your team?
I mean, I think
week in, week out, it's just phenomenal. I think Brett Dobson is he's standing on his head right now. He's not only my roommate every week, so I got to give him some credit because he'll listen to this later. But no, he's standing on his head. We're doing our best in between the lines. I mean, you can't really ask for more than 0 for the other team, right? That's the biggest thing.
Are you saying he's so good because he's your roommate?
No. He's good every week, no matter what happens. Everybody, we all are so close, and everybody does their part, and that's the biggest thing for us. And whether he's 100% in the net or 50% or whatever it may be, we always got his back, and we know he's got ours.
What is it like being a face-off specialist when your team gives you this type of lead? Like mentally, what does that do for you?
Yeah, I mean, not only are they supportive on the wings, but it's just phenomenal. You get them the ball, whether it's with the 52 or the 32, and they know they're going to put in the back of the net just like that. Spoke too soon. The biggest thing is just playing all 4 quarters, and I think we did that today. It's not over yet, but I'm very proud of the guys, and we put some really cool plays in there at the X called punt. Tell you about that later. Can't reveal too many secrets, but we're not too worried about winning that initial face-off, but we like what we got.
Why did you dye your hair again?
Oh, we won last year, and it worked.
He kind of does that.
Anything different this time around, or just a standard bleach blonde?
CVS Pharmacy, special. Did it myself. People said there's spotchy, but you know what? I'm not a hairstylist. I'm a face-off guy, so take it as you will, I guess.
I'll tell you what, Mike, if I was on the Arches, I want to be your roommate.
Maybe next week in Philly, as long as Cotter doesn't come in.
Great job. Love watching you play. Keep it up.
Thanks so much. Finish us off.
Iron sharpens iron. I didn't know you could dye your hair at CVS. You buy the kit there, or do they do it for you?
No, he bought the kit there.
Is it like you get your vaccine and you get your hair dyed?
He rolled up his sleeves and he did it the way you should do it. You would probably have some specialist come in and...
Me?
Yeah, flying out of state.
You're the one with a driver. Here's Ava. I mean, we're 2 minutes. I'm almost at the point where I'm like, do we talk about it, or is that bad juju? Are you not allowed? Is it like a
this
is a perfect game?
Because what I was saying before is this isn't a team that's throwing away a season. Like if a team went scoreless that was 1-9 and they had the worst offense in the league, and it was the last game of the season, right? Like the wheels were off the bus. They had nothing to play for. Maybe you could like rationalize it, right? But like now, this is the playoffs. This is the semifinals of the PLL.
And they hung 15 on the Archers like not that long ago. Like that was back in week 9.
Yeah, that was in Baltimore about a month ago. Just crazy. Look at Dobson. He's got to know that, I mean, he's about to have
that's
the first.
a pitcher with a no-hitter.
It's
of
a
course
first
he knows.
clean sheet in PLL history, potentially.
Are you serious? It's like a pitcher with a no-hitter, right?
That's what I'm saying is, do we talk about it? Are we allowed to talk about it?
I've been talking about it for the last half. I have.
If the PLL just sent out a notification, perfect game alert, I feel like that's just asking for it. Superstitious, maybe. There's O'Keefe. Is Blaze going to try to score himself?
Might as well.
Go ahead, Blaze. 18 saves for Dobson. Kurtz. Oh, there it is. There it is. It took them more than 47 minutes. But Zach Geddes just broke up the perfect game.
You jinxed him. You didn't start talking about it until now. It's all on you. You jinxed him.
You brought it up first.
In transition, Kurtz finds a cutting Geddes suit.
Beautiful shot.
Beautiful shot. This is like one of those, like, where has this been all game? Like, if you can score a twister in transition, yeah. We're all with you, Blaze. We're all with you.
That was phenomenal by Geddes. I mean, that's a short stick D midi.
Yeah.
That's not Josh Byrne throwing that shot. That was a high level finish.
All right, so you win the faceoff, make it, take it. Here we go. Comeback starts now. No, Sisselberger wins the faceoff. It'll be chaos ball. That was their 39th shot. They started 0 for 38. Dobson with another stop. Maybe this is how we have to pay for our sins for how fun that first game was. Like, oh, you like that one? Here's the game where a team scores 1 goal. But credit the Utah Archers. We wondered how they could do it without their captain, their leader, and their best player, the reigning MVP. They did it with defense tonight. And as a result, they're 1 win away from their 2nd consecutive championship. There's putting the clamps on, and then there's this. 10-1. The best defensive performance in PLL history by multiple goals. And Chris Bates' team is headed back to the championship. For RB, Kark, Jake, and our entire crew, led by Todd Jones and Brett Lancaster, I'm Drew Carter. Thanks for watching the PLL on ESPN. Good night from New York. We'll see you in Philly for the championship next Sunday.